Almost. Edward P. Morse is a professor of mechanical engineering and engineering science at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. He's also the deputy director of the university's Center for Precision Metrology, and he serves as the chair of the Precision Path Consortium, which has been formed between the Coordinated Metrology Society and UNC Charlotte. So, Ed Morse, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here with us, Ed. Well, let's start with a quick update. So what's the latest going on with the Precision Path Consortium?
Well, at the end of February, we had a meeting here in Charlotte at our Center City campus. We had 20 professionals from throughout the key industries in large-scale manufacturing, especially those people that use portable metrology. And we did a lot of hard work studying different application scenarios for portable measuring equipment and the various technological attributes that these instruments must have in order to perform those tasks. So we had this meeting and we asked a lot of questions and we honed those questions, we fine-tuned them, because our next step is going to be producing a survey that's going to go out to hundreds of people, thousands of people, probably many of them in your audience, and looking for their input and expertise on these very issues.
And Ed, what is your role as co-chair?
Well, I kind of try to keep things moving behind the scenes. So one of the important things is to administer some of the details of the federal funding, because although we have a lot of support from industry, we also have federal support, and it's our duty to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. Ron Hicks is co-chair with me, and together Ron is really doing a lot of the communications. He's great at that, and he knows so many people in the field. And I'm working with our team here at UNC Charlotte, which is doing some of the preparatory work for the survey and also laying the basis for our industrial roadmap that we're putting together.
And Ed, talk a little bit more about that survey. You said that you've kind of been accumulating this information and it's going to be released very soon. So what exactly, I mean, if you can give us a little preview of that, what exactly can we expect to see from the information that you're gathering?
Well, I think that we'll get an informed view of how the industry is evolving. So one of the strengths of our consortium is that we're looking across a number of industries. So I think within aerospace, the needs may be fairly understood, but only understood by the people that work in that industry. And the same may be due to shipbuilding or large equipment manufacturing. And I think by reaching down to the people that are doing the work day in and day out, we'll have a much more accurate feel of not only how the tools are being used, but what the needs are. So for various application scenarios, say keeping things aligned as you assemble them, what are the real needs? And then we can look at different instruments to say, how do these instruments need to improve to make this work better or faster?
Now, Ed, you're going to be keynoting CMSC 2016 this summer, only in a few short months. And of course, I know it's early and I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you maybe give us a little sneak preview, a little first look at what you're going to be talking about in your keynote this summer at CMSC?
Well, I think that a lot of what you've talked about so far has set this up really well. I think there'll be some really interesting information coming out of our survey, and I'll be sharing that at the keynote. So the people that are attending will be the first to hear this information. I'll also talk some about the importance of education and the role different institutions are playing in education and trying to overcome the issues with the graying of our workforce and looking to fill the ranks with young metrologists and young engineers.
Well, I spoke a little bit in my intro about the ways in which academia and industry work together. And of course, we all know it's very, very important that each support each other. So what do you see as the role of academia in supporting industry and vice versa? How can industry help support academia as well?
Well, I think that from the academic side, there are two main roles. The first is on the research side, our ability to take a longer view at problems and not be driven quite so much by what is about to happen or what could possibly happen in the next day before my boss appears on the shop floor. And we also have with that distance, we have the ability to look across industries. So often in industry, you're driven by the clock and solving a problem that needs to be solved, which of course is what makes the money come in. But we end up reinventing the wheel in different industries because there isn't a good way to exchange information and there isn't a way to solve the root problem. We keep addressing the problem that's facing us every day on the floor. And the obvious second part is workforce education. So future engineers and technologists need to have some exposure to the tools that they'll need. And we want to provide not just something you would call training, but we really want to educate them. We want them to understand the fundamentals of metrology and manufacturing, and that will allow them to quickly learn whatever they're faced with out on the shop floor.
And Ed, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, we haven't heard the term skills gap quite as much as we were, a year ago. It was probably in the news all the time. And it was kind of a debated topic. You know, you'd have people in industry saying, look, there's a skills gap. We can't find the technically sophisticated people that we need for today's, high technology, workplace. And then you'd have other people say, oh no, there's no skills gap, it's just a ruse. From your position in a university, teaching people skills, what is your perception of that? Do you feel that the universities are able to keep up and put out students that have the latest and greatest knowledge of technology and skills and so forth that today's workforce needs right now?
I think that we can, and I think that we do, but I think that the balance isn't always perfect. That there will be times when what we're looking for is skilled workers who would benefit most from a technological education at a community college, an apprenticeship style program. And then there are other people who would benefit more from a full undergraduate education where they have more in-depth knowledge in certain design areas. And I think sometimes the perception of what is offered at various institutions and the expectations of what is coming out sometimes don't match the experiences that the students have. And I think every time we write down everything we would like our young engineers to know by the time they finish 4 years of college, it turns out that what they really need is a master's in mechanical engineering and a PhD in physics, because everyone has their own thing that they think they should know. So
I guess that's a problem also is technology moves so fast, and like you said, you got a 4-year production period for your students. By the time 4 years have passed, boy, technology's come a long way.
Yeah. That's right, and that's why we have to focus both on the underlying principles that they have to learn, and not just give them specific skills, but really give them the tools they need for understanding what engineering is all about. And they can use that as a platform to attack the new problems that we can't anticipate.
Well, Ed Morse, thank you for joining us today on Quality Digest Live for this week's CMSC Corner segment. We appreciate it, and of course, remind everyone out there, Ed is keynoting this year's CMSC. So if you're interested in learning more about that, check out www.cmsc.org. And Ed, we are going to see you then in July in Murfreesboro, right outside of Nashville. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you then.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Ed. Talk to you soon.
See you, Ed.
Okay.